we're in spring, but spring in summer, right? I mean, spring is muddy and windy and choppy, and actually, if you look at the 4-year cycle, it's pretty much flattish.
As Bitcoin is down 4.9 and currently trading for $22,359, the charts on the cryptocurrency markets are covered in red. In the total cryptocurrency market, Ethereum is down 4.8%, trading for $15.69, since it is less crypto-friendly. As a result of ongoing regulatory, auditor, accounting, and other inquiries and investigations, Bank Silvergate said on Wednesday that it would postpone filing its annual 10K filing. As soon as the news spread, many of the bank's most important clients left, causing the share price to drop more than 50% and reach an all-time low during the day's trading. The issue was discussed by investor Mark Yusko. Mark thinks we are still in the early stages of the crypto spring and that summer is just around the corner despite the negative publicity and mild crash. Listen to Mark's thoughts first.
And, I think we all just need to persistently and diligently, keep moving our strategy along. But I will argue spring, summer, right around the corner. My guess is May-ish, June-ish, 9 months before the halving. And that's the way it goes. Look, humans are human. and we are very good at doing two things, like extremely well. We buy what we wish we would have bought, and we sell what we're about to need. And we're spectacular across every asset over and over and over. And this asset has a built-in cycle, right? The business cycle used to be 7 years pretty regularly, again, because there was a cycle of liquidity and loosening from the Fed. They suspended that in 2009, and we went into the QE era, and that screwed up everything cycle-wise in the traditional world. But it's hard-coded into Bitcoin that every 4 years, you're going to cut the block rewards. If you cut the block rewards, in theory, a whole bunch of miners will go out of business unless the price adjusts. And the price adjustment creates movement. Guys, right? We're all, gender problem here, is guys see movement, right? Hunter-gatherer, it's in our DNA. And so once that price starts moving, the people come. And look, I've talked about this with you before. There are 4 types of market participants. There are investors, people who buy things below their fair value. We like to do that. Then there are traders. Traders don't give a shit about fair value. They just want to make money up or down. Then speculators. Speculators don't care about anything except number go up. But the problem, and this is the big problem in crypto, is the degenerate gamblers. The gamblers come in with leverage, and they push prices way above fair value, and that's what causes the cyclical collapse. Anyway, let's just call a spade. I believe the futures were created, and the ETF futures was approved to beat the shit out of this market, right? We are in the then they fight you phase. This is not an accidental kind of, oops, we messed up. This is beat down by the incumbents, by the banks, all that nonsense with the useful idiots. Yeah, but the futures are still resilient. There's real money, like now embracing this asset, it's primarily Bitcoin and ETH, but a little bit more broadly. But we're talking real people who are in the business of managing other people's money, embracing this, and you can see it in the future curve. So that's an amazing insight that most people aren't paying attention to. Then you got the point about reflexivity, which again, we could talk about Soros for forever. We could talk about the sinister side, but then we could talk about just the genius of reflexivity. But your question about the washing machine and the top, look, the speculative nonsense, like Dogecoin, why does it even exist? I mean, my mind hurts. And I said the bear market will be over when Doge is zero. And I want to stand by that, but I can't because stupid people are going to stupid. And great. But I break it into 2 pieces. You've got the institutional quality, real assets that people are realizing, They're uncorrelated, right? Bitcoin is the most uncorrelated asset I've ever seen in my career. And I'm old, right? White hair. I've been around a long time. I've seen every promise of diversification. International stocks, 70% correlated. Bonds, 30% correlated. Hedge funds, 50% correlated. All these things that we're going to promise you on correlation. Bitcoin, 0.15 to stocks, 0.0 to bonds. That's uncorrelation. Because, no. In November of 2022, it was 100%. That's called a liquidation event. In liquidation events, correlations go to 1. Yeah, okay, I got it. But look at the long-term correlation. It's still really, really low. And it's because the asset derives its value not from traditional assets. Traditional assets derive their value from GDP growth, interest rates, and economics. The economy. Okay, crypto, that's not about it. It's about millennial adoption. There's $37 trillion with a T. $37 trillion going from my generation to my kids' generation, from the boomers to the echo boomers. That money is not staying at UBS. That money is not going to stay in mutual funds and ETFs. It's just not. I don't care what Larry Fink says. I don't care no chance. And the alpha, the Zoomers, the generation alpha, the kids that are being born right now, my grandkids, my granddaughter, okay, just born a few months ago, will never have one of these. She will never have a leather wallet. Not ever. She will have a digital wallet. That's the only wallet she will ever know. And she will walk around, not with an iPhone, but I hope with a ledger, okay? And it will be your primary connection to the world. And Web3 will have everything of value underneath it. Anyone who thinks that JP Morgan isn't actively engaged and behind this whole thing, I don't know what they're smoking, right? It's abundantly clear. To your point, if $1 billion leaves the banking system, who gives a crap, right? Who cares? That's like pocket change. Who cares? 10 billion. Yeah, I'm not even gonna pay attention. 100 billion? What the fuck? Now you stop that. Now I need to stop you. So what do? I create a fictitious company called FTX. I back it with a bunch of sludge money from bad people. I then get them to be friendly with the regulators and go after everybody else. Oh, the whole thing was a fraud and a money laundering ring wow. And people are surprised by this. And everyone was, Jamie Dimon at WEF, okay, a couple weeks ago. 10 minutes talking about Bitcoin. Everyone's like, oh my God, I hate that guy. I'm like, whoa, stop. Think about this. One of the most powerful people in the world. You don't have to like Jamie Dimon, but you have to acknowledge he's one of the most powerful people in the world.
Oh yeah.
Full stop, right? I don't like him, right? I think he's a nasty creature, but I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but I don't like him. But I respect that he's one of the most powerful people in the world. Probably shouldn't say it because he can come get me. But he had his 10 minutes of fame at WEF. He could have talked about anything he wanted. Anything at all. And he chose to talk about Bitcoin. He said, no, Joe Kernan baited him. I'm like, no. We've all been trained. Someone asks you a question, you deflect and redirect. And you talk about what you want to talk about. You don't have to talk about anything. He chose to talk about Bitcoin. I'm celebrating that. That is awesome. When one of the most powerful people in the world is talking about an asset that didn't exist 14 years ago, good for us. And that's why stage 4, then you win. If you're here, if you're listening to this right now, you've already won. And one thing we haven't talked about is, I think this bull run, as I said, it's coming, is not going to be led by the US. China, and everything's China's dead, and China's uninvestable, and China banned Bitcoin. China
They're
just
unbanning it.
a trillion with a T. And see, the trillion number is lost on people, and you've heard me say this before. A trillion, we have to sit here together for 31,710 years. As much as I like y'all, that would be most unpleasant, right? $1 every second for 31,710 years. That's a trillion. China just created a trillion of those babies. And post-Lunar New Year, they are finding their way into the digital asset markets. And that's what put the floor in, and that's what's going to create the next run. That $1 trillion is coming.
Do you anticipate that this Silvergate scenario will cause the cryptocurrency market to decline much more? Post a comment. If you thought the information was valuable, please consider clicking the like and subscribe buttons below to support our small channel. Guys, that's all for today. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next.